Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is Bourbon Whiskey from Sugar House Distillery, and today we are going to talk about Dune. Let's go ahead and take a sip. Ooh, I love how that smells. Oh, that is good. That is really, really good. All right, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about Dune. I had just finished watching Dune Part 2, and I have to say I did enjoy it more than Dune Part 1 for a variety of reasons. Would love to hear what your thoughts are out there if you watched Dune, if you like Dune Part 2 better than Dune Part 1. Would also love to hear, for those, because I've watched all of them over the last week, David Lynch's Dune, and then back in the early 90s, the Sci-Fi Channel had two miniseries. I believe it was called Frank Herbert's Dune and Children of Dune. Would love to hear in the comment section if anybody has watched all of those and which ones they liked and did not like of those. And then also the particular characters of who you thought were the best, Paul, Chani, Lady Jessica, Leto, who was the best Baron. I think that the latest Dune Part 1 and Part 2, the casting was great, but I do know there's going to be people who like one particular actor or movie over the other, and that's fine. We all like what we like. Would also be very interested in anybody who's read the Dune novel or Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor Dune, Heretics of Dune, and what your thoughts are on the two latest movies as opposed to those. I would definitely challenge anybody out there who is a fan of the Dune movies to read not only the first book, but at least read Dune Messiah and then Children of Dune. It's one of those things where you think you know what Dune's about, but the more you read into it, when you go back and read the original novel, it gives you a much better appreciation for everything. Let me go ahead and take one more sip of this. This is really good. Yeah, I like this more than I thought I would. And then for anybody who is a Dune lover, or if you have a Dune lover in your life, I would highly recommend this book, The Spice Must Flow from Ryan Britt. I had finished reading this, so in this last week to week and a half, I've watched both Dune 1 and Part 2. The latest one, I've watched David Lynch's Dune. I've watched Children of Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune, and read this novel, and of course went through some of my old Dune comic books. So there's a lot of Dune over the last week. I've been a huge fan of Dune for as long as I can remember. This is the first time I've read one of Ryan Britt's book. I kind of just picked this up because it just kind of, if you're a fan of Dune, I read it, The Spice Must Flow, which has its own little backstory about it, whether this was said in the books, the movies. I think he does a really, really good job of kind of going into the history and the cultural importance of Dune from the 60s to today. Even for somebody who's been a fan of Dune as long as I have, there's some stuff in here I never knew about. There's some really cool stuff in here. It is a really cool, quick read. And, there's not a lot of pictures in here. But what's interesting is you'll go in through here, and this is Dune World, which is what it was called. Dune was originally printed in magazines, as at different parts. Kind of gives you some, when it was an analog magazine, gives you kind of a little bit of what the cover looks like. It gives you some pictures of Frank Herbert, Jodorowsky's Dune, which makes a great documentary. There's a little picture from David Lynch's Dune. And then, of course, you've got in here from Frank Herbert's Dune and Children of Dune. And then, of course, the latest Dune. But I really enjoyed this book. I would highly recommend reading this, giving it as a gift. And really would love to hear in the comment section as well as who out there, what did you think about the newest Dune? Obviously, I thought it was awesome. Really enjoyed the movie. I'm actually going to go see it again. And I always have been a huge fan of Dune, so I'd love to hear in the comment section what everybody thought. Definitely enjoyed this bourbon, this Sugar House Distillery whiskey. Very good whiskey, and this was just going to be a quick video where I just wanted to kind of talk about Dune. And until next time, cheers.